Hello everyone, welcome to another webinar by Royal Cyber. My name is Mir. I take care of the middleware and integration practice at Royal Cyber, and I'll be your host and one of the speakers for today. Some of the ground rules for a smooth experience before we begin. If you have trouble viewing my screen or hearing me, please notify in the chat window located on the right side of your screen. You can post your questions and comments in the chat box anytime during the presentation. There will be a dedicated slot for Q&A towards the end of the presentation where your questions will be answered. You can also post your questions or requests for any follow-up information on email shown right here. Let me zoom it up a little bit so you can see it. This is the email ID where you can post your questions. Okay, so in the next 30 minutes or so, we will discuss how to future-proof your API assets using MuleSoft AnyPoint Security Platform. Now that's me. On the left side, I've been into the middleware and integration space, delivering turnkey solutions to customers across the globe for a good number of years. On the right side is my colleague, Mr. Arif, who is a senior software engineer at Royal Cyber. He has tremendous experience in implementing MuleSoft projects for customers globally. So here's the agenda for today. A quick introduction about Royal Cyber and who we are. Challenges faced by information and security heads, and how MuleSoft application network enables enterprise security by design. Steps for a secure future organization. Constructing multi-layer defenses against attacks. Establishing trust with out-of-the-box compliance and ensuring API security best practices. Automating the security and governance of your APIs and microservices. A brief demo of how to secure APIs by enforcing a couple of out-of-the-box policies. Finally, a surprise offer for today's webinar attendees. So stay tuned until the end to get advantage. So Royal Cyber is an IT consulting and in digital transformation company specializing in services, solutions, and software. Innovating since 2002 with 1,000+ workforce and 600+ happy clients worldwide, including USA, Canada, UK, Australia and New Zealand, Middle East, and KSA. Royal Cyber provides reliable and high-performing solutions and services in the field of commerce, cloud, analytics, mobile, AI, middleware integration, data analytics, to name a few. So let's begin with a million-dollar question. Why API security is a big deal? Why bother about security at all? Why to secure your data and API assets? And most importantly, why use AnyPoint Security as your preferred solution? Let me know your views and comments in the chat box. Now let's see why APIs are so crucial to your business. According to McKinsey, globally, around $1 trillion in total economic profit is up for grabs within the API ecosystem through redistribution of revenues across different sectors. Now that we understand why APIs are so critical to your business, let's try to understand how important it is to secure your critical business assets. Now, according to Gartner, by 2022, majority of data breaches around the world would be caused by API abuses, which could result in significant API downtime or performance issues, eroding customer trust, eventually hitting your business revenue. This slide shows a snapshot of data breaches which have occurred globally in the last few years. You'll be surprised to see some of the biggest names like Facebook, Microsoft, Target, Yahoo, Equifax, etc. in this list who have been victims of data breaches in the past. Now let's talk about some of the challenges faced by information and security heads when it comes to security. Now CIOs have a task at hand to increase the clock speed of your business, but they have a limited number of resources and rapidly growing demands of the business users for technology solutions. With these constraints, they have to figure out how to make IT scale to match the business demand. On the other hand, CISOs have a job to prevent against bad actors gaining control of your systems, but they are hampered drastically by poor visibility, shadow IT, and the reputation as a blocker to innovation. Now, CIOs and CISOs must partner to develop a security solution and agility together, but most often than not, their goals seem misaligned. Now that we understand the challenges, let's talk about how to address them. The first step is to enable enterprise-wide security by design. Now, security is not an afterthought anymore. It is factored in while building your API and goes on to protect your assets as soon as it is ready to be deployed. Now let's take a look at an example. Today, one of the biggest problems is that point-to-point integrations. Point-to-point integrations seem to be the quick and short solution to connect enterprise systems and applications. However, they turn out to be a huge mess as you progress, eventually hampering your ability to take the business to the next level. Not just that, central IT versus individual LOBs or IT solutions also contribute to complicate the security landscape. Now, to solve this problem, you need to create a culture of innovation and agility, weaving security principles into the design of every application, data access point, and integration. But the big question is, how do we do this? Well, the answer is you can do it seamlessly by adopting an API-led connectivity approach. So what is API-led connectivity? API-led connectivity is a disciplined approach to connect data to applications through reusable and purposeful APIs. Now, with this approach, APIs are designed, productized for a specific purpose, and play one of those roles within the specific API layers. So what is API-led connectivity? API-led connectivity is a disciplined approach to connect data to applications through reusable and purposeful APIs. With this approach, APIs are designed and productized for a specific purpose and play one of these roles within specific API layers, i.e. unlocking data from systems, you use system APIs. For composing data into processes, process APIs are used. And for delivering an experience, you use experience APIs. So let's find out how API connectivity solves your security concerns. Well, one of the first steps is to move from a monolithic approach to application development and data entry to a well-defined, well-fortified nodes delivered by an API-led approach, potentially in a microservices architecture. Now, each of these nodes, designed and built by the teams that need them, will have security best practices baked in at the point of design. These nodes are not connected. Now, these nodes are connected through APIs, which are standardized, well-defined entry points. They are easy to visualize and they're secure. If you've connected to a few of these services and exposed those as APIs, you should be able to reuse those services, discover that connected entity, and connect it to the next one. Now, as you're building out and connecting more and more of these systems, you're not necessarily creating more and more connections. You're actually reusing the ones you've already created that are already known to and managed by the security team. Now, this approach to IT architecture is called API-led connectivity. It allows you the business to go faster. You also get governance and compliance naturally along with it, thanks to the API, an accessible and widely understood standard. Now, each node or service has to add value to the whole network. Now, that's actually the engine that makes this turn on. It creates the network effect and makes people want to participate in it. Now, people start to see the value in the network and they automatically contribute more nodes to this to ensure people to get more value out of it. And so it spreads so rapidly. Eventually, that's what makes the entire organization adopt the API-led approach and not create shadow systems anymore. So what emerges out of this approach is an application network that's structurally more secure. It's organized around well-defined building blocks, and these building blocks all have an API linking them to an application network. The security is built in because you've defined a door through an API and cleanly defined your inside and outside. And the good news is MuleSoft AnyPoint Platform is one unified solution that complies with enterprise integration and solves all of your security concerns without much complexity. It offers a solution for all the challenges we have discussed in one package, allowing organizations to run the same APIs or applications across multiple cloud environments or on-prem or a hybrid combination in a secure fashion. So let's find out how MuleSoft AnyPoint Platform solves the problem. First, let's look at the platform in itself. AnyPoint Platform is a highly unified productive app hybrid integration platform that creates a seamless application network of apps, data, and devices with an API-led connectivity approach, allowing you to connect with mobile apps, B2B partners, enterprise applications, legacy systems, and web services, and even perform complex batch process and data synchronization tasks in a secure manner. The platform consists of two planes, a control plane and a runtime plane. Services that are Mule application instances are deployed in the Mule runtimes. Now these can be hosted either on-prem or in the cloud environment of your choice. That the control plane handles the complete management process from design to operation. This remains on the Cloud Hub. It also offers a collection of runtimes, frameworks, tools, and web applications. The tools such as AnyPoint Studio and frameworks for building and testing your APIs and integrations for AnyPoint Platform. Runtime for running applications and applying policies. Now these can be Mule hosted in the Cloud Hub or customer hosted on-prem or in the cloud. Web applications such as Exchange, which is used to discover and share reusable APIs, connectors, and templates. It also promotes Center for Enablement, a central repository of all your APIs within the organization. A design center for designing your API specifications only, such as using RAML, OAS, and API fragments. Flow Designer, building integration applications that consume APIs on the web without having to install anything on your machine. A runtime manager for deploying, running, managing, and monitoring applications. API manager for defining and managing your API policies. So here is a list of security features that comes out of the box in the AnyPoint platform. Some of the questions these features address are: who gets in? You can control who gets access to your API, prevent unauthorized access to your critical business access. Authentication. What's required for them to get in? It allows you to authenticate the requester against your designated external identity provider, which could be Microsoft Azure, Active Directory, Okta, your preferred choice. Provisioning. Who can access what? It allows you to set up role-based access and decide what roles and permissions can access a specific API resource. It gives you full visibility into who have accessed. Monitoring and auditing provides complete visibility as to who has accessed your API assets and what API resources have they invoked. Alarm should something go haywire? Yeah. Alerting allows you to set up alerts to notify of critical events, and also a key store that provides a security manager to store your certificates. Now let's see how to use AnyPoint security to build a multi-layer defenses against API attacks. AnyPoint security has a built-in set of policies that help you safeguard edge of network, every API, and your data. It has pre-built policies which can be enforced to eliminate vulnerabilities at the network edge based on observed attack patterns at the API gateway. A no-code approach to secure your API assets. You can simply enforce security by configuring the required policy from the API Manager portal, which we'll see shortly. Promotes governance and security compliance by allowing you to mask sensitive data using tokenization policies as well. The AnyPoint platform offers a comprehensive set of policies out of the box to cater to different needs. The policies are grouped into the following categories: security, compliance, quality of service, transformation, and troubleshooting. So here is a list of all the individual policies that are available out of the box on AnyPoint platform. Now all policies related to security, such as basic authentication, tokenization and detokenization, IP blacklist and IP whitelist, JSON threat protection and XML threat protection, JOT validation, fall under the security category. The policies related to enforcing client ID, And cross-origin resource sharing fall under the compliance category. Policies related to enforcing SLA such as rate limiting, HTTP caching, and spike control can be found under the quality of service category. And policies related to header injection and removal can be found under the transformation policies category. Finally, a policy related to logging message payloads of every request and response can be found under the troubleshooting policies category. Now, AnyPoint Platform supports a variety of secure protocols to ensure secure connectivity as shown here, and provides tools to build secure services which in turn help to future-proof your business. Now, some of the protocols supported are SSL and TLS with a secret manager, OAuth 2.0, PGP payload encryption and decryption, SAML, WS Security, JOT to name a few. It provides a secret manager portal, a secure vault to store secrets and enable incoming traffic. For instance, you can use the key store option to store secrets, combining a combination of private key, corresponding public certificate, and the CA path. And you can also use the trust store option to store your certs, or use the TLS context option to define all SSL critical parameters. Now, in addition to API policies and security protocols, there is another type of security offered by MuleSoft. It is a built-in platform security, i.e. security foundation, frameworks and standards supported by the AnyPoint platform and its underlying AWS cloud. AnyPoint's security foundation is built on the principle that customers can perform sensitive data manipulations securely with confidence while ensuring data is not exposed to unintended parties. Now, this is enforced by adhering to established standards and industry best practices for operational processes to provide a secure environment for customers. Now, these include, but are not limited to, a secure virtual private cloud in which your customers can perform sensitive data manipulations actively and consciously avoid any interaction with customer sensitive data. Adherence to security compliance standards such as ISO 27001, SOC compliance, PCI, HIPAA, and GDPR to name a few. And adoption of best practices such as logging and alerting of platform level security events, strong authentication for administrative sessions, a principle of least privilege access, role-based access controls, data security, not storing sensitive data and encrypting data at rest, and many more. All of this achieves performance without compromising security and has the following additional benefits. It facilitates agility and innovation by using APIs. It avoids disclosure of critical information. It empowers your teams to enhance security with AnyPoint Platform. Now, AnyPoint Platform, as we discussed before, offers a role-based access control security as an additional layer of security. Now, access management module within the AnyPoint Platform allows you to define roles and permissions at the organization and at the business group level. You can connect to external identity providers like Azure AD, Okta, Salesforce, etc. It caters to use cases like configuring OpenID Connect or configuring SAML for SSO. You can apply user, role, and attribute-based access control for controlling access to platform dashboards and resources. You can provide restricted access to external organizations. To enable this option, both organizations have to add their unique domain names on each of those AnyPoint platform. Now, access is turned off once the domain name is removed. Now, you can avoid denial of service attacks using the DOS policy, which prevents attackers from flooding your network to prevent legitimate network traffic to your APIs. For example, malicious clients could send huge payloads designed to consume resources and bandwidth of your network. Now, this feature is available to customers having the AnyPoint Security Edge entitlement on their AnyPoint Platform account. Now, AnyPoint Platform is the preferred choice of hybrid integration platform for many customers across the globe, and it ensures security through the support of VPC and VPN provisioning. Now, Cloud Hub provides built-in security for communication from the cloud to the on-prem applications, databases, and services using the virtual private cloud offering, or VPC. Now, these VPCs enable customers to connect to their corporate data centers, whether it's on-prem or in a different cloud, through an IPsec, SSL-based VPN to Cloud Hub, as if they were all part of a single private network. And the Mule runtime provides an environment for building or operating all types of Mule applications following the build once and deploy anywhere principle. The runtime, which is identical across both cloud and hybrid deployments, supports different deployment models that are flexible and adapt to the most complex of hybrid operation constructs. Now, you can enforce all the available out-of-the-box security policies with the same level of ease whether your application runs in Mule Cloud Hub, any other cloud, hybrid, or even the runtime fabric environment. So in a nutshell, AnyPoint Security is a suite of capabilities that makes APIs, microservices, and integrations running on the platform secure and governable by default. AnyPoint Platform creates application networks secure and governed by design. Every node in the network, every connection, and every API can be governed using policies. Policies can be enforced and updated without making changes to the underlying code, just by using the API manager. You can protect your APIs and microservices from the denial of service attack and content attacks. It allows you to detect and tokenize sensitive data in transit across your application networks. It allows you to apply automated policies to enable security by default, and thus helping you move towards a zero trust architectural model. Additionally, it also supports agile development and DevOps, which is a crucial part in easily and quickly implementing whatever you're developing and trying to enforce with respect to security and business requirements. The platform itself works with a common tool chain used for continuous integration and continuous deployment, i.e. SCM, Maven, JUnit, Jenkins, and works well in a DevOps environment to build and manage microservices. So we have seen and understood what AnyPoint Security is all about and how MuleSoft's AnyPoint Platform offers the security. Now let's see one of the policies in action. And here we will demonstrate how to enforce a JOT-based validation policy and an SLA rate limiting policy and one of the APIs which is created and deployed on the Mule Cloud Hub environment. My colleague Mr. Aqib will take you through this demo. Over to you, Aqib.
Thanks, Mir. Hello, I am Mohammad Aqib, working as Senior Software Engineer with Royal Cyber. I have been working on MuleSoft projects for a good number of years now. Today, I am going to show you how to configure a couple of built-in policies, the JOT validation and SLA-based rate limiting policy to secure your MuleSoft APIs. I have created a simple API and deployed it to Cloud Hub. Now we will see how to apply these policies on this API. To enforce a JOT validation policy, log into AnyPoint Platform and navigate to API Manager. Select the API and click Policies option from the sidebar. Here click Apply New Policy button to see the list of built-in policies. Scroll down until you see JOT validation policy. Select the policy and click Configure Policy button. As you can see, this policy mandates all calls to the API to include a JSON Web Token to use the API. You also need to update the RAML specs for this policy to function. You can select options based on your need to enforce this policy. There are a couple of key things to remember. Select HTTP bearer authentication header as the JOT origin. If you choose JOT key origin as JOX, then you should specify the URL of the JOX server. For this demo, we are using MS Azure Active Directory as the JOX server where the application is registered. If you wish, you can validate client ID in the same step by specifying client ID expression in the field. Finally, you can choose to apply this policy to all API methods and resources running in Cloud Hub or specific ones. Since I have already applied this policy, I will cancel the operation for now. You can go back and check the policy config by clicking View Details button. I have also configured SLA-based rate limiting policy on this API. As shown here, this policy governs how many API calls can be processed per time period and rejects any calls exceeding this threshold. This policy expects client ID and client secret on the header. You can set SLA threshold in the SLA tier screen. I have set the SLA to limit 3 requests per minute as shown here. The next step is to update the RAML spec of this API. Let's navigate to Design Center and select the API spec. JOT validation policy by default expects to obtain JOT as bearer authorization. To enforce this, you need to define a trait in RAML as shown here. Similarly, client ID based policies like SLA based rate limiting policy expect to obtain client ID and client secret as headers. So you need to define this by defining the trait as shown here. You also need to apply this trait to a specific method or resource by using the isRAML attribute as shown here. Now publish your changes to Exchange. Let's open a REST client to test this API. To test the JOT validation policy, you need a bearer token. I have created a separate API to get the bearer token from Azure Ready service. Let's pass client ID and client secret in the expected format and see what happens when I hit the send button. Okay, you can see the response back from server. Now to test the SLA rate limiting policy, let's try to invoke the API more than 3 times in less than a minute and see what happens. Hit once, you get the response. Hit twice, you get the response. Hit the 3rd time, you can see the response again. Let's hit the 4th time and see what happens. There you go. The policy gets enforced and it throws the message too many requests. We have come to an end of this demo session. If you have any questions, please post on the chat and I will be glad to answer. Over to you, Mir.
Thank you, Aqib, for the nice demo. It was very informative. Now let's move on. So what are your takeaways from this webinar? We'll help you answer the 3 whys. So the first takeaway is to help you understand the need for API security. So back to where we started, did you figure out why bother about security? Why secure your data and API assets, and why use AnyPoint security as a solution? Why security? Because organizations are quickly embracing cloud services to increase agility and succeed in today's digital economy. For several enterprises, IT department security is a top concern. when evaluating cloud services, whether it be physical, network, infrastructure, platform, or data security. The next why secure data and APIs? Because APIs are the way to go to achieve your digital transformation and legacy modernization objectives. Expose your data and services to consumers, business partners, etc., and rapidly scale your business to the future. So it is vital to secure them against any form of attacks using battle-tested and trusted technology. Finally, the third why MuleSoft AnyPoint Platform? Because MuleSoft's AnyPoint Platform security provides a layered approach to secure your application network. Now, these layers work together to protect both the application network and in its individual nodes by controlling access to APIs, enforcing policies, and proxying all inbound or outbound traffic to mitigate external threats and attacks. Now, these capabilities are optimized for security, providing you with a dedicated endpoint to detect attacks and validate traffic without taxing your implementations. Now, MuleSoft is dedicated to ensuring that customers can meet all of their security and compliance goals with MuleSoft's cloud services, namely the Cloud Hub and API Manager. And the most important, or rather a trillion-dollar question, why Royal Cyber? We at Royal Cyber have certified MuleSoft consultants who you can trust to get your job done at a fraction of the cost and in your own time zone. We have MuleSoft assets and solutions to help you jumpstart your project development activities. Our consultants have deep skills in several middleware technologies apart from MuleSoft, like IBM Middleware, IIB, App Connect, API Connect, Data Power, MQ, to name a few. Cloud technologies, DevOps technologies, enterprise applications like Salesforce, ServiceNow, Workday, and others, and other technologies. We have strategic business partner relationship with several IT organizations, helping you to save significant operational cost. And we have a strong and a powerful center of excellence for middleware and integration technologies, whose sole purpose is to ensure every integration project exceeds customer expectations. Last but not the least, a global and a local presence. Our consultants and SMEs are available to work from on-site, onshore, and offshore locations. And here comes the surprise offer, a special offer from Royal Cyber to all the webinar attendees today. Now, this is a complimentary offer to help customers cope up with the unexpected disruption in the business due to COVID-19 pandemic. Typically, this entire package costs not less than $10,000, but as part of this webinar, we are offering it for free. As part of this free offer, we are providing assessment of your existing landscape and show you how to achieve significant cost savings and secure your API assets. A 1-month professional services where our MuleSoft certified SMEs would help you accelerate your integration initiatives, slowed down by the pandemic, or resolve any production issues completely free of cost. You can also have additional certified resources available at a fraction of the cost. So, what are you waiting for? If you want to future-proof your data assets and APIs, accelerate innovation, and go to market safely with peace of mind, take advantage of this offer now and join hands with Royal Cyber to quickly achieve your goal. Caution: now this offer is valid for 48 hours only from now, and this is very popular among our webinar attendees, so I would highly encourage all of you to reach out to us today before it is closed. Thank you all. Now it's time for some Q&A. Okay, thank you all. Thanks for attending today's webinar. I know it doesn't end here. Should you have more questions or need additional information, you can always reach us at info@royalcyber.com. Thanks again, and you all stay safe.